a few people, when I say quite a few people, obviously there's only 4 of us on this, and there might have been 6 people I spoke to on the match day vlog that I do that goes on YouTube after the game yesterday. But 2 of those 6, if I remember rightly, were saying that City aren't used to playing with a striker. Now, who better to ask that question to than Shaun? Because as we said at the beginning of this podcast, you were, one of the greatest strikers ever to play for Manchester City, and a specialist striker. In this new formation now with Haaland, and it's interesting that Tom says, he appreciated him coming back and tracking back. Those fans and other people around me were saying the problem is that Haaland plays in one position, and so it's as if we've lost a midfielder, and that might explain the 2 inverted fullbacks. That might also, because under the false 9 situation, you always had that extra player. There was no player sacrificing themselves purely to be making a striker. So is Haaland at this stage, is he an issue, Shaun?
Well, within your question, you answered your question. And this is, I said, there are pluses and minuses when you have a false 9, someone playing in that position, and then you have an out-and-out number 9. When you have a false 9, you do have that action midfielder because, again, they're happy and very comfortable going back into those areas, creating an overload in midfield. And what happens is when they drop down, then one of the De Bruyne or Gundogan or whoever's playing, all of a sudden fills in and into the number 9 position. And so this is why it's interesting. I think the evolution of Haaland and in time to come will be, we don't, Pep doesn't just want him to stay up there and be a 9, because he will get chances, and he'll probably get more chances by coming short, getting involved in terms of simple balls, receiving a ball, laying it off, and then moving around and eventually drifting back up front, because players will go take his position, and then all of a sudden he's able to make that clever run from slightly deeper, but where the centre half is thinking, I'm marking, I don't know, Kevin De Bruyne, because Kevin De Bruyne is now in the number 9 position. And I think that will be the evolution of him. So at this moment in time, I think the players are slightly adjusting a little bit to having an out-and-out number 9. But the more they play, the more that fluidity will happen in terms of them understanding Haaland, Haaland understanding them. And I'm trying to think which game it was. We had Rodri assisting with a quality pass. We had Gundogan assisting with a quality pass. Kevin De Bruyne with a quality pass. That's 3 players that was, so he's, and because he's such a good finisher, this looks perfect from a team point of view, because they can just say, oh, well, if we men mark or we try to get close to De Bruyne, then we could stop De Bruyne supplying. All of a sudden, Rodri's delivering balls for him. So this is an asset when you talk about having an out-and-out striker. But the minuses is if Foden's up there, Foden is up there, threatening him behind, and Foden is drifting, and then Gundogan goes in behind and becomes the number 9, or Bernardo Silva, depending on whoever's playing, and they all know how to just fill these spaces. But at this moment, Haaland playing there as a 9 is doing what we expect, is to score goals, and it's for him to score goals. But the great picture, or the beautiful picture, is when he's scoring and others are scoring, because that was how we were playing without a number 9. So when we start having, 3 goals and 4 goals, as he and his scored a goal, and 1 or 2 others have scored a goal, then we're exactly where we were without a number 9, but we have a number 9.
I should, by the way, ask you a question or two about your role now at City, because, you are involved at City. And I remember at the time congratulating you when you got it. And you said, oh, yeah, you have to talk to me about it sometime. This is the first chance I've had to properly talk to you about it. How did you get the role? What is the role? And how much are you enjoying it, Shaun?
Well, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And what it is through the Premier League BAME program, which I had applied and went through the whole process. And the reason was, I thought, watching City is one thing, watching City, doing media and thinking I know the game. But if I'm inside getting this information and getting this knowledge, then then surely there's something more I can learn. And what it's really showed me was there's a lot that I didn't know, and it really surprised me. And that's because it's come from, from Pep down in terms of the academy and the philosophy, the DNA of the club, and how we're teaching the kids to be not just quality, but to be world class. And we all there's lots of coaches that go out and coach and say, well, we want him to be good, but we're trying to produce world class players, because again, if they're going to get into Pep's team, you're going to be exceptionally quality, and if you ain't world class, you can't be too far down below that level. And this is why you see Foden and you think, wow, but I see so many kids that are talented, but also it's the knowledge and information that they're given that takes them on to another level. So I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm currently with the under 16s. Had done periods with the under 10s, 11s, 12s, and again, the tactics and the information, even at under 10s, 11s, there's a level of tactics so that they understand the City way, and that blew my mind, because just even hearing how other clubs such as Man United, because academy coaches talk and they say that Man United at the young ages, they're all about just playing 5-a-side, 7-a-side, and letting the kids sort of learn through situations and scenarios. And City's more is some of that, but also about the tactical understanding the City way of playing. But then when we always play and we always seem to hammer them. And so for me, the evidence is there. When I'm looking at the, our 10s, 11s, and 12s, when we play them, we're beating them comfortable. And I'm thinking, well, they're just playing 5-a-side and skillful kids and asking them to figure it out. But we're giving them a little bit more. And so the evidence that I see at that age seems to be very clear that our way is working in terms of from results. But at that age, it's not about the result. It's about managing the players and improving them, about developing the players. But each age group I go to, we seem to dominate the ball. When I look at the under 13s, we dominate the ball, 60% of possession, creating more chances. And why is that? Because they understand the City way of playing right the way through.
It sounds like once Pep moves on, whenever that might be, he might extend, he might go at the end of the season. None of us officially know anything yet. And obviously, even if you did know, I wouldn't expect you to tell us. But it sounds like whatever the plan is, you don't, right? Fair enough. Whatever the plan is going forward, it sounds like there is such a strong identity now within all age groups of City and all the coaches like you that I'm not saying it wouldn't matter if Pep won, when obviously the guy's a genius, but it might not matter as much as you think. Like when Fergie moved on at Old Trafford, the whole sort of pyramid feels as if it's collapsed a little bit, whereas at City, it's built on really strong foundations, isn't it?
I would agree with that 100%. I think there's such an identity in how we play. I always thought, well, what big shoes to fill when Pep moves on. Certainly from the academy point of view of being able to have one or two players coming through, I think we'll always be able to do that because of the identity and the DNA and the way we develop the players. The big question is, if Pep moves on and that individual that feels that, how does he take it on to the next level? Because the game moves on, competitors get better. Out of nowhere, somebody becomes a challenger and all the rest of it. So that becomes a challenge. Who would that individual be that will have that same understanding of the City way and enhance it and keep moving forward? But just in the same time, I have to sort of, congratulate like Jason Wilcox as the head of the academy, because again, just seeing a lot of the stuff that's happening there is really opened my eyes. It's opened my eyes that when we look at a team and we think they're playing a system at 4-3-3, but what I'm vastly learning is where are the spaces. So when you look at a field, we tend to look at, or majority of people tend to just look at the 11 players. You got a back four, midfield three, but worthy spaces. And just by passing the ball to a player who's attracted to that player, who's attracted to that ball to try to win it, then all of a sudden creates a space. And then you start to see the game so much differently. So sometimes we will purposely pass the ball to a player knowing that that's going to attract two players to create a space that we will then go and exploit. And that, the game is just moved from checkers to chess big time.
I must admit, I wish I knew you were very knowledgeable, Shaun, and now you've got this insight and you've just given us that insight. I wish I was still commentating next to you, because to watch a game with you and listen to your comments like that while the game is happening and your insight would be absolutely fascinating. But thanks very much for that. Who knows, maybe you'll succeed, Pep, Shaun.
Hey, who knows? Who knows? But what I can say is he is mind-blowing. The knowledge of the game. I have nothing but the greatest respect, because what I see and stuff I'm learning, he's probably forgotten. And that's what's so amazing.